My name is Tracy Pook and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator at Didsbury Mosque. I have officially been here as an employee for nearly a year. I've been coming to the mosque for 21 years. To go into the history of the mosque, it was originally Albert Park Methodist Church, which was built in the late 1800s. In 1967, the two buildings, because there was two separate buildings, the church that we sat in, and there was a church hall, which is across the way, came up for sale. So the Syrian community, they put the funds together and they put in a bid for the mosque to the trustees of the Methodist Church. The actual money they paid for the two buildings was £4,500. When the Syrian community went to speak to the trustees of the Albert Park Church, because of the bid that they put in, some of the things that they said that they would make very little changes to the church in its layout and how it used to be. Obviously they would have to make changes because it was becoming a mosque, but the pews here are the original pews that was part of the church, so the congregation of the church faced this way. So all the pews were removed apart from the two original ones. So this is the original pulpit, which was at the front of the church, and it was moved to this location because they still wanted to keep it to honour what they had said to the trustees of the church back then. And the reason they moved it here was because this is the direction that we pray as Muslims. So the sermon is given here on a Friday, just like the priest would have done when he spoke to his congregation on a Sunday. So that's why they kept the original and put it there. So the other changes that they made when they turned it into a mosque was to change the windows, and it wasn't for any other reason due to the fact that children were throwing stones at the glass, and it's quite expensive to keep replacing stained glass windows. So as the time went on, the more they were being smashed, the more messy they were becoming and more ugly looking. So they decided to change the glass into plain glass, and the only window they kept is still one of the original windows, which was part of Albert's Park Methodist Church. Obviously they've put a Allah in the middle, but that's the only difference that they've made there. The other changes that happened to the mosque, obviously as the community grew and it got bigger, they needed more space, and so they had to expand what they had. So they joined the two buildings together, so which was originally the church hall. They joined the two, and this was part of the new extension, probably around 2004, 2005. And they put an extra room on the back as well. There's also a conservatory just around the corner, which gave more space to the mosque as well. So this part is relatively new.